Hello and welcome to your weekly Direct Sales the Smart Way training. This week, we're talking all about the mistakes you're making when it comes to selling. I'm Power Coach Alishia, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, and educational direct sales coaching with a twist of tough mama bear, no fluff, no handholding, no bullshit love. I specialize in teaching you how to double, triple, and 10 times your direct sales income the smart way. Okay, so whether you're watching this on replay or you're watching this live with me, if you're on replay, drop hashtag replay in the comments. If you're live with me, say hi to me in the comments. I'm just going to get the text sent out really quick, and then we will jump into today's training. Okay. Oh, good. I'm live in the right group. I'm just going to get that's always exciting. Yes. So live with me, say hi to me in the comments. If you are on replay, just drop hashtag replay in the comments for me. Okay. And I will go as quickly as I possibly can. I forgot that I was sending text before. Send message. Okay, perfect. I got the text message sent. Yay. Yay. There's people here. Hi, Anitra. Hi, Renita. Yes, yes. So if you are live with me, please say hi to me in the comments. Again, if you are on replay, drop hashtag replay in the comments. I need to fix my hair really quick, and then we will get this show on the road. So like I said, today we're talking about all the mistakes we're talking about the mistakes you are making when it comes to selling. So I want to ask you a question though, before I jump into my portion of the training. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being you feel like you suck at it, 10, you feel like you're awesome at it. How do you feel like you do with selling? So 1 is horrible, 10 is awesome. Okay. Shout that out in the comments. Hi, Kim. So that's what I want to know from you on a scale from 1 to 10, just so I can get a beat on how you guys feel like you do. And then we'll kind of weave that in and out. I'll be asking questions all training long. So even if you're on replay, answer the questions like you are live with me, because I'm always going back and looking at the comments anyways. All right. So Renita is a 6. Anitra is a 3. Awesome. Kim, whoever else is on here. Oh, yes, it is just Kim now. Shout out. Okay. So when it comes to selling, you want to be a 7 or above on that scale. All right. So that's your goal, is a 7 or above. So it sounds like for you, Renita, you're pretty close, right? You're just basically one step down from being where you want to be or higher. Of course, Sunitra, you do have some work to do, right? To get up to that 7 mark, but that's all good. Like, don't stress out about where you are on this scale. It's just taking a beat to know where you are so that you know where you need to go. Okay. So don't judge yourself over it. Don't beat yourself up. It's not a big deal. So one of the first mistakes that you make when it comes to selling is not asking for the sell on a regular basis. Hi, Chastity. So if you're just joining us, shout out in the comments on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 is you're bad at sales. 10 is you're awesome at sales. Where are you on that scale? Deborah, Chastity, please do that. That would be great. Okay. So that's what we have done so far. Yeah, that's what we're rating. And actually, let me put that in the comments on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 is awesome. How do you feel you are at selling? Oh, I put 10 is awesome. Okay, perfect. I'll just pin that to the bottom so you guys can see what the question is. All right. So Deborah's a 3. Kim is a 3. All right. So a few 3s here. That's okay. That is okay. So the biggest mistake you're making is you're not asking for the sell on a daily basis. All right. And that really comes from not knowing how to start those sales conversations on a regular basis, right? So the reason why you're not asking for the sell on a daily basis is because you feel like maybe you don't have the people to ask, right? So let's chat a little bit about that. Why are you not asking for the sell on a daily basis? Shout that out. And then I'll give you, some coaching through that as well. Because if you first know why you are not asking for the sell on a daily basis, and then we can dig into that, then we can bridge that gap so that you are asking for the sell on a daily basis. So in that same container, you probably don't have enough people that are in your world, in your mind, that have purchased from you to go back and ask for that sell, right? So you're looking at new customers. Well, I mean, I don't have people, I don't have a lot of new people in my world to ask. Okay. Well, there's usually number 2 mistake that you're making, and that's not following up with the people that have purchased from you to see how they're doing on their supply, right? So 1 is you're not asking for the sell daily. Number 2 mistake you're making is that you're not even following up with the people who have purchased from you or who have expressed interest in purchasing your products. So while I'm waiting to find out why you guys aren't asking for the sell every day, so that's the answer you guys are the answer you guys are putting in the chat right now is, why aren't you asking for the sell every day, right? What's the issue there? I just did my training. Well, it's been a month now, almost a month now. My training on how to sell 1K on Black Friday. And then we went into my Black Friday sales system. So there's a chunk of people who purchased into the Black Friday sales system. And I went through and helped implement that and, answer questions, whatever. I did some VIP sessions and mapped out people's Black Friday sales and structures and da-da-da. And one of the consistent themes with the people who purchased the system is that they did not go back and follow up with the people who said they were going to order, but didn't order from their sale. So I got to the end of the sale and I sent everybody a message and I said, how did your Black Friday weekend sale go? And, good, great, good, okay. So the people, okay, asked them, okay, so what did you implement? When we got to that point, it was like, oh, there were a whole bunch of people who wanted to shop with me. And they said that they were going to shop with me, but then they didn't shop with me. That is a follow-up issue. So that's the second mistake you're making, is not following up with the people who are already in your world and who have purchased from you or who have expressed interest in purchasing from you. And if you don't follow up, you're missing out on 50% more sales. Throw that down in the chat. If I don't follow up, I'm missing out on 50% more sales. Now, when you think of follow-up, you think of following up with the people who have already purchased from you. They're already customers. So you're like, I just need to follow up with the people who have purchased from me. No. Follow up is also people that you've started conversations with, who've expressed interest in purchasing from you and expressed interest in the product, even if it is, what is the name of your company, right? What is Scentsy? What is Do You Bake? What is Pure Romance? Oh, Avon's still around, right? So those are indicators that you can take that conversation further, right? Now, I'm not saying, now this is where I don't want you, actually, this would be mistake number 3. And by the way, these are all on the fly, right? There are no notes here anywhere. The only thing that I have is what my topic is for today, which is mistake number 3 is that you're being a pushy salesperson. Okay. So 1 is that you're not asking for the sell daily. 2 is that you're not following up with people who express interest and the people who have purchased from you. And 3 is you're being a pushy salesperson. So on Facebook specifically, social media, so we'll say Facebook, Instagram, people are so much more comfortable with being pushy. The problem with that is that you're pushing people away, right? So you're fine with, oh, Avon's still around. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we totally are. And this month, our specials, or this month's, what do you guys call that? It's not catalog, event. I don't remember what verbiage you guys use, but basically it's the new catalog. And the catalog right now is this, blah, blah, blah. You start puking your business all over them. And so what happens is they still don't buy from you. And they're really not a good follow-up as people who expressed interest because you didn't build that interest correctly. Brochure. Got it. You didn't get their interest peaked the correct way. And so therefore it stops them from being an interested person in your product. And now they're not somebody you want to follow up with because the conversation was weird and kind of thrown off because you were being a pushy salesperson. All right. So not having daily sales, not following up with them, and being a pushy salesperson. Yes. Thank you for continuing to put these in the comments, or thank you for putting these in the comments, Kim, so that I don't have to continue remembering what they are. Because again, this is all on the fly, no notes. And half the shit I say, I forget what I said, but I'm doing my best to remember so I could repeat for you guys. So thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate it. So if you're not asking for the sell daily and you're not following up on or with customers who have purchased from you or people who have expressed interest. So we want to tighten up number 2, right? Not following up with people who are customers or following up with people who express interest. And then number 3, being that pushy salesperson. Then the next mistake that you're making, which is number 4, is not making sales an active part or an active area that you are growing in your business. So mistake number 4 is that sales are not a place where you are focused on growing. So this is like a sideline mistake because it actually goes with not where you're not focusing on growing. So instead of focusing on growing and becoming a better salesperson, where you're actually focused is on building your team, recruiting, right? If I ask, what's your biggest challenge? You say recruiting, right? And so therefore you're focused on your biggest challenge in your business being recruiting, but it is actually selling, but you're not developing yourselves because you know they're good enough. So I'll get bookings and recruiting, but really your two focuses in your business should be booking and selling. Because if you master booking and selling, you can slide recruiting right in, you can slide hostess coaching right in, you can slide leadership right in, and they'll all assimilate right into your business and your business will fucking explode. But when you focus in the wrong area and developing your recruiting skills, developing something that doesn't actually matter, then your business is nothing and it falls flat, right? So I want to just puff up Kim here for a second because I thought that this was so fucking awesome and I just want to share this. So here's a prime example. This isn't a mistake. This is actually awesome, right? So she did a vendor event the other day, and most people go to vendor events just to get the leads, right? So this is another big mistake with selling. Well, if I can just get my name out there, get my product in front of more people, I'm going to sell more. Not true. So this would actually be number 5. So moving into what Kim did awesome, and your 5th mistake is believing that if you just expose your products to more people, you're going to sell a shit ton more. That's not how it works. If you get more people who know your company or know what your company is, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to sell more. You actually have to fucking sell them. So what she did that was so awesome was that in this vendor event, there wasn't a lot of traffic. And so she just went to work and selling to every single vendor there. But I could tell in the conversation that Kim and I were having was that wasn't the conversation that she had in order to sell to every vendor that was there was not pushy. She was developing relationships with them, connecting with them, introducing them to Do You Bake, and then selling them on our products, right? And that made that vendor event that would have otherwise not been worth it, and she probably would have lost money on that vendor event, to making the money back that she spent on that vendor event and profitable. Plus, there were some things that she wanted to get there. So she traded product with people so she could get what she wanted without coming out of pocket because she already had inventory. It was a brilliant way to turn what could have been a really shitty vendor event into freaking cash. Okay. Hey, Angie. So that is so freaking beautiful and such an awesome thing that she did that I wanted to share. So what she had to do was ask for the sell and build the relationship in a very short amount of time, right? maybe she had to go back at the end of the day and follow up with people, right? Hey, did you still want to get these brownies? Did you still want to get this cranberry? Did you still want to get this cinnamon, whatever, right? That she still had to like do that follow up. And it wasn't about being pushy because she had focused on building the relationship first. And when she realized that the attendance wasn't going to be great, she was just full focused on selling and taking what she had learned and implementing it so that she could sell. And I forgot what mistake number 5 was. What was mistake number 5? Shit balls. I just said it. Somebody tell me. Not focusing on building. I'm typing this one out really quick. Just so you guys can have it. Do you guys remember what I said number 5 was? I might as well just type them out here so that they're all here, right? Past clients or people interested. Damn it. I don't remember. I'll have to watch the replay. But those are the 5 or the 4 right now because I just said 5 and I don't remember what it is. Pushy salesperson. Oh, I remember all of a sudden. 5 is believing, go me, believing that the more people that you expose your product to, the higher the sales will be. Like the more you're going to sell, you still have to sell. There still has to be strategy to it. So exposure is one part, but actually selling is the other part. Never mistake that you actually have to sell in order to get the result that you're looking for. Okay. You have to, thank you. You have to ask for the sell. You have to actually freaking sell. So I want to attempt to put this up on the screen. Wait. See if it works. So I can show you. Text. Okay. We have a text box. Boom. So I don't know if I can move it though. Select. Haha. I've never done this before. Can you guys see my screen? Yay. So you don't ask for the sell daily. You don't follow up on the sell with past clients or people who are interested. You're being a pushy salesperson. You're not focusing on building your sales skills, and you're believing that the more you expose people to your product, then they will buy it, right? And that is, you think they're going to buy it from you, but the truth is they're not going to buy it from you. So look, let's look at this. If you are, I don't even know. I don't know what that is. Let me just draw. Give me a line. If you are exposing, so this is you, and you are just like doing all of these vendor events, right? Oh, let me undo that. Right? You're doing all of these vendor events. So you have vendor event, you have vendor event, vendor event, vendor event, vendor event, and all these vendor events, all you're doing is telling people your product, right? Do you realize that if you buy it from someone else, so it doesn't exposing people to your product at all these vendor events, it's important that you actually have the strategy behind it. How are you going to sell your product at the vendor event, right? So that's what you want to look at. How are you actually selling your product at the vendor event? Over here, how are you going to get in those conversations to where you are actually selling daily, right? Let me erase that, make it pink. Oh, I just erased the whole thing. Oh, okay. I'm going to get this down. So like, how are you actually getting into conversations to where you can ask for the sell daily? Who do you need to actually be following up with? Who did you get into conversations with over Black Friday weekend that you can actually still go back and close the sell right now? In being a pushy salesperson, is there more relationship that you need to build with people, like conversation that you need to have before you can actually ask for the sell, right? And maybe you don't know how to start those conversations. Maybe you're like, I have no freaking clue how I would start those conversations and lead it to a sell in order to have people to follow up with, right? So maybe it's that you need to focus on building your sales skills, and that's the problem, right? But I can tell you what, this is never what you need to do. Expose your product to more people so that they will buy it. In the exposure, you need to be selling, right? So always remember that. In the exposure, you need to be selling, because if you're not, then they're going to end up buying it from someone else. They're going to buy it from the person who actually sells to them. So don't ever think that just because your product's there, that's going to do the job. There's still that next step. So those are the 5 mistakes that you're making when it comes to selling. And if you can if you can learn how to fix those areas, then you're going to be an unstoppable sales machine. So a lot of people had record-breaking months in November. So why don't you go ahead and do that? Throw down in the comments, what were your sales for the month of November? Okay, throw them down. What were your sales for the month of November? Retail sales, right? And in those sales that you did get, there were a whole bunch of sales that you didn't get, but it depends on how you got them. If you didn't start conversations with people and you were just sending out, or you were just posting links and then they were going to your website to order, well, then you don't have people to follow up with because you just did a post with a link and they did it all on their own, right? But if you started conversations, you have a whole slew of people that you can go back and follow up with. Oh, which brings me to my next mistake that you are making when it comes to selling. Okay. We're going back to the whiteboard. How do I clear this? Yeah. Clear all drawings. Okay. So the next mistake that you're making is you don't have any sort of sales plan. So you're just kind of going through the motions, but you're not really doing anything. So what a sales plan looks like is this. Holy shit. This is my first time using the whiteboard. I just found it the other day. We're going to be using it a lot because I think it is amazing to help you. And my art is not going to be amazing. So this is what your sales plan looks like. Now, anybody who did not sell on Black Friday weekend, that's because you didn't have a sales plan. So the number 6 mistake you're making is no sales plan, right? I guess I could put that up here somewhere. I don't know where I'd put it, but I think it should probably be on the screen somewhere. Just kidding. Hold on. Let me move this. I'll have to move it all around or it's going to be in our way. Oh my God. Okay. I can't get to number 6. So we're just going to have to pretend like it's there. No sales plan. Okay. So what that looks like is Monday, you have something you're doing to sell. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. So your sales plan means that you have something you're doing each of these days. Now, where the pitfall comes in is that in your sales plan, you have either like too much, right? You have all this shit that you're doing. And so it's too much. It becomes way too overwhelming. Or it's a time issue. Let me make a clock. Okay. Or it's a time issue. So whatever you decided that you're going to do, it takes too much of your active time and focus in order to be able to do it. So when it comes to your sales plan, you want to choose one thing that is going to be your focus every single day. Now, this does not mean a product that is your focus. This means your medium in how you're selling, right? Or your process in how you're selling, your strategy, your tool that you're using to sell your product. You choose one way, there we go, better verbiage, one way you're going to sell your product every single day, 7 days a week. But here's the key. You choose one product that you're selling every single day, 7 days a week, without you actively having to be there to sell. So therefore, you're not adding more time. And you don't have to worry about this because it's one thing each day, and you're not actively, you're being able to sell 7 days a week without actively having to be there to sell. And when you create that, then you have daily sales, right? Then you have people to follow up with because you're creating space for these people to say, hey, ask about your products, have questions about specific products, right? You don't have to worry about being pushy because you're putting your products in front of their face in a different way on each day where they're, again, raising their hand so that you don't have to worry about it, right? And again, stopping the pushiness. Not focus on building your sales skills. That would be where this problem comes in to all these different places. Okay. The problem comes in that you don't know what you should be doing on each of these days as your 7-day sales plan. So then that would be focusing on building your sales skills. Okay. But the beautiful thing about having this sales plan is that you are exposing people to your products every day, right? So you have this covered. So that's awesome. You are exposing people to your products every day, but now they're in your world. So that eliminates the fact that they're going to go buy from someone. You're exposing the people who are in your world to your products every day in a different way. So that way they can shop with you. So they want to shop with you. So they want to ask more questions. And that eliminates you making all 6 of these mistakes. Okay. So I like these little visuals. I'll get better at these visuals, but I like these visuals, right? I could have said all of that verbally and not done a visual for you, but it gives you an idea of the issues that you're having with it, right? It gives you an idea of what you need to be doing on, or what each day looks like. Not 7 things that you're doing to sell on every day, 1 thing. But it still remains that you would have to focus on mistake number 4, and that's building your sales skills to know what to sell every single day, right? What to put in there. What is that process? How does that look? How do I actually fucking do that, right? So if you want more information on mapping out your sales plan, because the sales plan fixes all of this, you would be able to ask for the sell every day, right? You would have people to follow up with. You would be learning how to implement the sales plan. So that would be building your sales skills. You would be getting your products out in front of the people in your world so that you can sell to them more. And the 7-day sales plan is the 6th mistake. So you wouldn't have to worry about that because you do have a sales plan. So if you want more information on mapping out a sales plan, I want you to put sales plan in the comments and I'll shoot you a message. We can talk about it and go from there. Maybe we'll jump on a call and we'll look at your business and we'll look at, what are you doing to sell right now? What are the holes in that? Is a 7-day sales plan what you need, or what is it that you actually need? And then from there, we can decide if you're going to move on, further to work with me or whatever from there. So if you just type sales plan in the comments, then we can chat about it and figure out what those next steps are. But for now, for today, I want you to know that these mistakes are holding you back from reaching your sales goal every month. So Chastity did 1,200 in sales. Deborah did 300 in sales. Anitra did 0. Kim did 250, right? So with each of these areas, now I want to re-ask you guys, what are your goals in sales every single month? Okay. So shout out in the comments. What are your goals? So you told me what you hit for the month of November, but what is your actual goal? And I had thought you wrote 30, Deborah. So I'm glad to see that that's 300. For whatever reason, I thought it was 30. So yay for it being 300. So shout out, what is your sales goal for the actual month? Because it's so important that you bridge that gap. Yes, that gap can be bridged in bookings, but it could also just be bridged in selling, right? And plugging these holes that we talked about today. So let's see. 1,000. Okay. So you were $700 off. And so Deborah, let me ask you, which one of these mistakes did you feel like really spoke to you the most? So shout that out in the comments as well. Same thing for you, Chastity. 2,000 is your goal. You hit 1,200. Which one of these mistakes are you making that could help bridge that gap? Right? So share that with me. And that's what I want to know from you guys, because I want you to draw the line from what you learned in today's session to how it impacts your business, how it affects your business. I don't want you guys to just sit on these trainings each week and hear some good information, but not draw those parallels. Because once you draw the parallel to where you're at and what I taught, now it's just filling those holes so that you can shift your business to that level that you want. So you can get to those $2,000 in sales. You can get to the $1,000 in sales. So what mistake are you making? Okay, so your sales goal is 1,000. Yeah. And the thing about the challenge, and I say this a lot, Anitra, the challenge with Avon is really the structure of the company, right? They attempted to go to the direct sales route, but it didn't give them the eyes and the people paying attention and the shift in the Avon energy that was needed to where now Avon is a company that people are paying more attention to. So you really do have that challenge, because there is this whole culture around Avon that's really simple. It's Skin So Soft, right? The main culture around Avon is Skin So Soft. And when they need to buy Skin So Soft, they just find somebody who's selling it and buy it. I mean, it's at flea markets everywhere, right? So now the challenge is shifting that culture. And so one of the things that I want to put in your mind, if I haven't already in the past, Nitra, is this the company that is really going to get your life and your business to where you want it to be? Or is it actually time to make that shift? Am I saying to quit being an Avon's consultant? No, you don't have to quit being a rep, but I want you to think about that. Is this really the place for you to be that's going to bring in the money, that's going to give you that excitement, the results, the product that people are like coming to in droves? When you have a company like Do You Bake or Tastefully Simple or Scentsy, there are a lot of things that bring people back. With Scentsy, for sure, you have the wax and the warmers, and they have a whole structure around the wax and the warmers that makes you want more every single season, let's say. For me, I have a shit ton of Scentsy Christmas warmers, and it took everything in my power not to buy the gingerbread one, because it's cute as fuck and it would look so cute behind me on my gingerbread shelf, right? It took everything in my power because Scentsy is brilliant at making you want more, right? Making you want to come back for more. And their scent bars, I mean, they smell so good, and they're so much easier to clean than the Walmart ones. They're more expensive, but they're easier to clean out than the Walmart ones. And the difference in how they're made, how Walmart makes their wax bars and how Scentsy makes their wax bars, is different. I feel like Walmarts are like overpowering and will give you a headache, but Scentsy's are like smooth and you don't tend to get that headache. It's just hard. It's so hard for me to explain that, but I hope that makes sense. And then I can feel like, okay, my house is scented up, and turn off the Scentsy one, and then it still like permeates through the air. But the Walmart one, if you turn it off, the scent's gone immediately, so there's these different differentiations that again make me go with Scentsy over Walmart. I was literally looking at Walmart wax bars the other day and smelling them, and I could not get myself to buy them. I mean, I have some in my little wax thing. More of a natural fragrance. That is the exact phrasing I was looking for. I couldn't get myself to buy it. None of the fragrances were like, and I just was like, meh. And so I bought with Chastity on her Black Friday sale, right? And that's what happened. I was like, fuck it, I'll just do that. I'll just buy with her. And that's what I did. But knowing those things, knowing that the company that you're with, the product, is what makes people come back, right? For a long ass time, people thought of Tastefully Simple when they thought of beer bread, and they thought of the garlic dip, and they took them back to Tastefully Simple, right? Now, Do You Bake is coming through and paving their way and showing up. And as long as they, keep going and growing, they're going to overtake Tastefully Simple. Now, there's still a whole bunch of people who don't know about Tastefully Simple, right? There's still a bunch of people who don't know about Do You Bake. But the point is that There's a product that keeps people coming back, or actually a product line that keeps people coming back. And when you think of Avon, it's really stuck to a couple of things. I don't even know if Gina Tay is still there, still a line with Avon, but my mom used to wear the Gina Tay and my dad used to do like the aftershave and stuff like that. So I think of Gina Tay, but that's just because of my mom. I'm not going to use Gina Tay Bath and Body stuff. I'm going to use Skin So Soft for camping because that's what I grew up on. But now there's just like this weird niche. And so in my professional opinion, Anitra, it's something that is holding you back. I know you said you did consider jumping ship, and obviously something made you stay. But I think that in every business, and I want everyone to hear this, you need to be looking at what's going to be best for you. And that's going to take your life and business to those next levels. And sometimes it may not be your company. You could be with Cincy and it may not be Cincy anymore for you. You could be with, Pure Romance, and maybe it's not Pure Romance anymore for you. You could be with 31, maybe it's not 31 for you anymore. It's not just Avon. So I want all of you to be thinking about that. And if your business that you're running right now is not the one that connects with your goals and what you want to do and your passion and, you know, where you're going, just shift, just move and implement the things that we talk about, and you're going to freaking kill it because you're going to have that match then. Okay. So that's what changes, is that you end up having that match. So let's look. Chastity does not ask for the sell daily, doesn't do enough of the follow-up. Okay. So now you know you need to do both of those things. Ask for the sell daily and get your ass on the follow-ups. Go back to your Black Friday shopping and get with those people, right? Who didn't order. It doesn't matter that the sell isn't on. Then that is where beefing up your sales skills comes in. Because if you learn how to be a better salesperson, it doesn't matter if the sell isn't there. You can still close them on shopping with you still. Because with Cincy, they have packages. Okay. So you're good there. Yeah. Diehard customers, but your sales skills to get new customers and keep them coming back. Doesn't really make sense to have diehard customers if you're not following up with them because they don't stay with you anyways, right? So Deborah says, I don't have a sales system. My follow-ups are hurting me, right? So it's a two-part thing. Sales system, the process that you take in order to consistently sell, and then to follow up with them, right? So when you start thinking about this is a big pitfall in your business. Selling is huge. Let go of recruiting, focus on booking and selling, master those two areas, and your business will skyrocket. Then you can tighten it up with hostess coaching for the bookings, then your business will go up more. And then you add in recruiting, your business goes up more. You level it out and you learn how to operate your business at that new level. And then you focus on leadership and then you explode again. That's how you pull all of this together. Good. So you have your own craft business. Did you know that there is a direct sales craft company? You know, maybe you consider that. I can't think of what it's called right now. There's Chalk Couture, but there's another one. So you need to think about that. Maybe that's where you need to be. Chalk Couture is a great one. So start thinking about where it is that you really need to be, and that is best for you. Okay. And then move there. Get there, right? Put yourself in that business, sign up for that business, get the starter kit, whatever it is. Okay. So that wraps up today's session. I guess it's the 6 mistakes that you are making when it comes to selling. I hope you guys love that. And this entire month, we're going to be talking all about selling. So next week is the psychology of selling. Then we move into I don't know if we're going to do the 3 C's to selling 1K at everybody, because I feel like I just did that. But then we're going to be also talking about tripling your party profit. So this whole month is selling whatever comes to me, whatever I want to talk about. That's what we're going to be talking about. We'll be here Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be here hanging out. And then for those of you guys that are in live coaching, I do Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'm back to back live between direct sales coaching and live coaching. So if you want that mindset work, that help there, you can search here on Facebook for Soul Tribe. Soul Tribe, I think it's Soul Tribe by Power Coach Alishia, and join that community there. Because your mindset, I believe, is 100% of success. If your mind's right, you're going to sell, right? You're going to be successful. You're going to fucking figure it out, even if you don't have those strategies. But if your mindset sucks, no matter what strategy you get, you are going to fail. So with that, start plugging these holes. If you want my help, me to like look at your business, what's going on, type sales plan in the comments. We'll chat. If moving further and working with me is the best fit for you, you'll do that, or we'll talk about that, I should say. And if not, then I will give you some next steps to take to start plugging those holes. All right. So just shout out sales plan in the comments, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.